This is the official podcast landmark episode number 150, and to celebrate, Jackson has brought today an incredible topic.
You can't just throw me on the spot like that, especially after dropping the fact that it's episode 150. I completely forgot about that. It is 150, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh.
150 weeks.
Oh, well.
You should.
It's not an even 3 years. We're not celebrating. Fuck you.
Yeah, we said we were going to celebrate 3 years instead of 150, but still, putting me on the spot like that and then dropping 150 over it's a dick move, Charlie. Dick move.
Well, if you haven't noticed, Jackson, I'll peel back the curtain. I've done the last 4 intros for this, and I always toss it to you just to get you ready in the Thunderdome. It's kind of just my tradition now.
So, yeah. And then my tradition is just completely bombing it and then moving on immediately.
Fuck yeah, baby. That's the secret formula.
That's the official podcast success. That's how you get to 150 episodes of a podcast.
Every episode just setting it up for failure.
I wouldn't say failure. That's a really harsh word.
You wouldn't say failure in this scenario?
No, I think... See, we got momentum now because Jackson brought to the table his ineptitude as a topic, and we can all chime in.
And with that momentum, what do you have to say on it?
You guys remember when Jackson scammed me into a friendship on Trine 3?
Oh, you keep bringing that up.
Are we doing the fucking nostalgia anniversary thing? Do you remember that episode when this happened?
No.
Remember this episode?
This isn't...
Yeah, let's just play a clip show.
Yeah,
let's just keep playing clips from
I don't
the
want to
past.
record today. This
is not going to be like... This isn't going to be like El Camino where it's just flashbacks for characters. This is relevant. So Trine 4 recently came out this month, and that holds...
Yeah, and who was begging me to play that?
That was me. I thought it'd be really cute if Jackson and I played some Trine 4 together to celebrate our 3 or 6 year... I don't know, how long has it been? A year of friendship or whatever. However long I've known Jackson from Trine 3.
Aw.
It's about time we hop back in the Crucible. Freshly released, too.
Is it out yet?
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Came out.
You're just going to have to try to scam me a little bit harder.
Yeah, I'll really work the angle.
Contact them from an anonymous account.
I'll send him Dark Souls fan art. This could be us, Jackson.
Do you think you could get Jackson back now? Do you think that if you created like an anonymous email, you could maybe convince him into getting into a project or any of that shit?
No, I don't think Jackson would take on a project. He won't even take on our projects right now, let alone an anonymous email.
I said I'd help you. I said I would help.
No, but you have to pretend to be someone bigger. Of course, he's not going to help us, but if you pretended to be EA and reached out to Jackson, made it believable.
Yeah.
Then he'd follow up.
If they reached out about making a new pornographic game venture or something like that and offered me unlimited funding, then maybe, yeah.
It's an untapped market. Boys, if big studios like EA and all the other ones started making AAA porn games, would you play them?
Fuck yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah, why not?
It'd be a dream come true. That's what I'm trying to work towards. I'm paving the way for that to happen, Andrew. In 10 years, when you're playing AAA porn games, you'll have me to thank for it.
I'm just wondering though how
Jackson's the first man to make a low budget porn game ever.
That's true.
A pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
We are proud of you.
What do you mean low budget? This shit's expensive.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, like with video gaming, it's very low budget. Personally, it's expensive, but if you're talking budgets for a game, it's minuscule.
I'm just
wondering. That's why we need EA.
I'm just wondering where the line of like porn game and regular game would have to be drawn, though, in that scenario.
Nowhere.
Like, what do you think? Well, no. What do you think in a realistic world would ever make EA go? Yeah, one of our teams is working on a porn game.
Money.
It makes a lot of money, and it's like like acceptable in society.
No, it doesn't have to be acceptable in society if it just makes a lot of money.
Wouldn't a porn game make a lot of money?
Make a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. Porn already makes a lot of money.
Porn does. Porn games don't. Porn games.
Yeah, they do. No, they absolutely
do. The biggest Kickstarters ever are all porn games.
Yeah,
but they don't
burn
as much.
AAA game.
Long term, nobody.
Well, if you're comparing every game to Call of Duty or any of that shit, then of course it's not going to sell like that. But think you make a smaller, still AAA title, you can
name the last
small
title EA has made, or any AAA publisher for that matter. They don't make small titles if it's not going to earn like a AAA game.
Porn game's not going to make you any money.
Publishes a lot of small games
because look, think about it.
They do. Check out Nataku.
No, hang on. Think about it. Epic Games is never gonna make a porn game because a porn game their players only are gonna play 5-minute bursts throughout the day, if that. Once they're done jacking off, they shut it
then
off.
They're making it too good.
As opposed to Fortnite, which they play for 10 hours a day and buy skins and shit. You want people to get addicted, not just.
We need to add titties to Fortnite.
You can get addicted to a porn game, probably more so, because you keep coming back in 5-minute bursts. That's long player attention. If they keep coming back to see the next scene or get their rocks off, they're not replaying the same content over and over again.
See, that's where the balance strikes. It's like most porn, the vast majority of porn, people are disinterested after they come. So you have to make a porn game that it's like, I came, but I still want to play. That's the hard part.
Yeah, they won't wanna.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's why I'm saying.
If you get attached to the characters in a porn game, you might keep coming.
That's
back.
why I'm saying,
Jackson,
where's the line drawn?
It's the same reason I don't go on Pornhub when I don't have a boner. I don't care. But I'm always on Twitter, for example. That's the comparison you're making here.
You don't idly check
Well,
porn?
no, all right. What about a game with pornographic elements that isn't necessarily entirely pornographically based? So it's just got sex scenes, like full penetration sex scenes, but it's got a really cool story and a really like fun gameplay loop.
Well, then
and
it's
there's
just
an orchestral score.
Right, then it's just a normal game with a sex scene.
No.
But this is like full penetration.
So
sex
imagine on that topic. Imagine on that topic, you're playing like Bayonetta, but the way that she attacks the demons is she lets them fuck her. What do you think that would
Yeah,
make the
I've
game
played those
better or
games.
worse?
Better? I mean, yeah, better. I don't know. It depends on how attractive the woman is, I guess,
Honestly,
the character.
I think the only game that's really nailed this long term is Second Life, where you can just really have a second life and also do all the sorts of deviant sexual shit. So if you gave that more realistic graphics, maybe, and have people,
It's like you
able
guys
to
all
lose
forgot
themselves in
about
it.
Ride to Hell. Ride to Hell Retribution was well known not only for its engaging gameplay, but its sex scenes. Fully clothed, baby.
But,
Yeah,
but that's a little different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where sex is the primary goal of the game, not just a game with sex scenes. Like, imagine you're playing Devil May Cry, and all the demons that you fight are hot bimbos, and Dante, instead of his big sword, has a giant cock, and he's running around fucking them. And your combos are like different positions and shit.
I think there's definitely a demand online for sex games. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen how many people download these games on backwater alley sites. I think there's definitely a demand here for pornographic games.
So that's what I'm wondering. Would a big company like that ever? Do you think EA? Remember how
because
back
that would
in,
sully their reputation.
Well, hang on. Remember how back in the past
they clearly don't give a shit about
EA
that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you even said that.
You know, in America, violence is more acceptable than full-on sex. It's the same reason full-on penetration isn't shown in television shows. But
So is pissing in your
Violent.
customers' faces. It's entirely acceptable. They're not gonna care about their reputation. They're gonna care about their shareholders paying.
of course they care about their reputation. Their reputation is their long-standing success. Of course, EA's kind of fucked it,
addictive
but that's
games
bad decision making.
are the key there. They know you're gonna keep playing no matter what. That's why they keep getting away with pissing in your mouth.
You can do both. You can have a good reputation and have addicting games.
I'll tell Blizzard.
So then, how likely do you think it is then, on reputation and on money, that they could make a spin-off or a subsidiary? Like, do you remember back in the early 2000s, you had EA Big, who made all the extreme sports games, and that was kind of like a smaller part of EA. How long until EA goes, it's EA After Dark Studios, and it's all just
They can
porn
always
games?
acquire me. I'll keep it hush hush. I won't state that they've acquired me.
You can't be acquired though, because you're parodying an existing property.
Satire.
Yeah, no, what you're doing is legal and fine, but it also means that big studios aren't going to want to touch you.
They can acquire me, but I can just scrap the project and work with them on whatever they want.
Jackson,
Yeah,
how
a
would you
new
feel
IP.
if
Our Turbo.
Yeah.
How would you feel if they're doing an interview for like a behind the scenes making of a game and you just come up and you're talking about the design elements and it says like Jackson Clark, co-creator of Game of Moans on it?
It'd be a dream come true.
You're like talking about how Bayonetta 4 is going to have like the most intricate combat and pussy physics ever. And your title is just designer of Game of Moans. That's living the dream.
Any issue with that?
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering, because I've been thinking about this lately, how American culture, it's what Jackson said, violence is more acceptable than sex, which is stupid. But as we're getting more liberal and the younger people are...
Come on, that's starting to be a myth.
What?
Dude, you have people fucking in the streets during parades and shit. How many people do you see stabbing each other in the streets? Violence is not that reviled.
How many times have you seen a titty on a major network TV show, and how many times have you seen someone get shot or blow their brains out?
All the big shows these days have titties, yeah. I think HBO probably has a quota of titty per scene.
No, that's HBO. On mainstream network television shows, you can they've shown people fucking shooting each other and violence and all this shit, but you can't.
How many
even
times
show
does Jimmy Fallon get his dick sucked on his talk show?
Yeah.
How many times has he gotten shot? I don't know. I haven't tuned into that.
Fucking Law. You can watch Law and Order and have scenes where it's like this girl was brutally beheaded and then sexually assaulted, and she's got burn marks on her tits, and her face was melted off with acid.
You want the sexual assault to be shown? Is that what you're trying to?
No, but I'm saying that in that same scene, if they show a flashback of her and she's naked, they will make sure that you don't see any part of her body. But when they show her corpse, she's fucking mutilated with flesh hanging off her bones, and that's fine.
I think
sex is definitely more taboo in America.
TV viewers
that's exactly
are
what I was
dying off.
saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Now you're proving my point.
But where are the porn games?
So that's my question. Do you think that eventually, now that we're kind of culturally shifting, finally, we'll get big budget porn games? EA and Epic and all that will start reaching in that market.
Well, maybe not Epic, since they're
riding Fortnite.
Well, not only that, their audience is pretty much almost entirely kids now. They're very kid focused.
Also true. What big studios do you think you could see maybe reaching into that?
Probably Activision Blizzard.
Well, they got to do anything right now to try to bring themselves back from the abyss.
Well, no, Blizzard's also got like that kind of audience. Like they probably skew older, right? And they've got all these IP that they can make pornographic games on, like Overwatch.
Oh yeah, I bet you the only way Blizzard comes back now is they make canon pornographic Overwatch art and animations.
They're not going to do that. That'll get them fucked in China. They're obviously not going to do that.
Imagine finally landing your dream job at Blizzard. Like, you've gone through 10 years of building up the experience required to just get an interview there. You finally arrive and they change shift entirely to full-on pornographic games. And you have to work on a pornographic game.
It's better than getting whipped by Bobby in the office day in, day out.
Who?
Bobby Kotick, I think his name is, right?
From, yeah. Kotick? Yeah, whatever.
It just sounds miserable. Boys, it's a good idea and a good thing that we were talking about sex, though. Can we continue to talk about sex?
It'll be the 5th episode in a row. We might as well.
Perfect. And on this 5th episode in a row, I would be remiss to not tell you about Blue Chew. Blue Chew will let you increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. They bring you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you'll know that they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're a chewable, they'll work twice as fast as a pill. So you can be ready, wink, wink, nudge, get it, whenever an opportunity arises. Ha, 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 ha. If you're ever lacking in that area, maybe you should check out Blue Chew. Tell them about it, Jackson.
Well, all right, so you can head on over to bluechew.com, get your first shipment free when using our special promo code OFFICIAL. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUE bluechew.com, promo code official to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you, Blue Chew. Thanks. You might be able to pop a few of those bad boys and last a little bit longer during porn games.
Exactly. If you're going to be doing a hardcore gaming session, you're going to need Blue Chew.
I think Charlie's had enough of talking about pornographic games for once in his life. So, Charlie, what do you want to talk about?
Do you think the microplastics in our water is actually making our dicks smaller? Because
No.
the jury's kind of out on that one, on whether it really is making our schlongs much smaller or not.
We talked
don't
about this
think
before.
so.
I remember reading a couple of articles on the show. Remember? About how it's causing more deformities in children now and newborns.
That's an old study, though. There was a new one conducted on bottled water plants that said 93% have dangerous levels of microplastics. That I actually have an effect on penis size in grown men, not just upcoming.
In grown men?
Yep.
Okay, so wait, you're on the side of the aisle that says it absolutely has an effect, and it's happening already.
No, that's what the study says, but a lot of people
Okay.
say that can't happen. You can't make your dick smaller just from the microplastics. I personally don't want to roll those dice, so I have gotten rid of all my bottled water. I don't have the inches to lose like that.
Now, did it specifically say shrink to your penis, or does it just say like a list of
No,
things that can happen?
It shrinks your penis was one of the things. It makes the men have tinier wieners over time.
I think not only that, but it's
And
also
what, this is
some...
only found in bottled water?
Well, I don't know if it's only found in bottled water, but bottled water is all bottled by the same, basically one company being Nestle, and they have a lot of microplastics still in their water, and it's very bad for you.
Could this be some kind of rumor spread by their competition?
No, because all of the competition was involved in the study. That's why I said
No,
93%
I mean-
of all bottled water.
So it's not just bottled water, they're saying that the chemical in Teflon also causes this, so you should be careful how you prepare your food. We went over this. Fuck, I was hoping you would come in here with some new information going, it's absolutely not true, boys, we're safe. But
I
think the proof is in the pudding.
I
I mean, if you look at the statistics-wise in history, men have radically lower testosterone levels today than they did even 60 years ago. Something's going wrong. I don't know what it is, but I can imagine our dicks shrinking. That's not too far-fetched.
that is a good point. Testosterone levels have dropped off like a motherfucker. You remember when BuzzFeed did it and they all had 80-year-old menopausal women testosterone levels?
They're also
Well,
not
that's
the
BuzzFeed.
manliest of men, though.
Yeah,
it's
that's a bad
I wouldn't
example,
take
but-
that study at all at face value.
Well, it wasn't a study, it was just 4 of their writers going to get a test done, and it turns out they're all basically women. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Clearly something is happening. I don't know if I would all blame it on the plastic or the what we eat, but we live more sedentary lives, clearly. I think this is something you can look at as plausible without being
So
accused as...
is your dick just actively shrinking?
What just happened there? You two collided and both gave up. So who wants to
I was
prevail?
talking, I don't
asked
know
him a
why.
question.
I mean, if you start talking in the middle of my sentence, I don't know what to do, Andrew.
I don't know. I asked if your dick was shrinking. I was concerned.
This is a messy episode.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. This is like symbolic of our show overall, so I'm happy it's happening on the 150th episode.
Happy anniversary.
I don't think it'll be fun to listen to.
So, is your dick shrinking?
We'll go with that one instead of Kaya's long-winded question.
Wait, what was his question?
He was proposing something almost scientific until the question devolved into, is your dick making tininess?
Is your dick small?
You got to keep it simple. You got to condense it in a way the listeners will want to hear. It's like slogans.
Yeah, how small's your dick getting, Kaya?
Well, it hasn't changed, I'm happy to report.
I think mine's gotten smaller.
Surely you wait, really?
Yeah,
I was just
about.
about to say, surely you'd notice your dick getting smaller.
No,
over time.
you wouldn't really notice. Like, if it's literal millimeters over years, I don't think you'd notice until it's already happened. Like Doug said with getting fat, he didn't realize he was fat until he was like fucking ridiculously fat. It's one of those things that the little changes over time you don't notice until they all compound into just an
No,
atrocity.
that's not the same. Doug said he tried actively not paying attention to it, which is, what happens with an addiction.
True.
So I can understand why he would, even if he looks at himself naked in a mirror, he tries not to really pay attention to it, or he doesn't notice as much. Obviously, he avoids scales. As a man, though, every time you have an erection, you still kind of look at it from all angles. Like, am I big? Am I small? Can I get this bigger? You analyze it every single day. I think I noticed every missing millimeter. I'd put up wanted posters.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, because you look at it so much, maybe you'll try convincing yourself that it hasn't changed when it really has. Like, it'll be like a hit on your pride as a man if you admit otherwise.
Okay,
that it is getting smaller, so you just convince yourself.
All right, fuck it. Let's all take a blue chew and start measuring.
That's a good idea. I haven't measured in like 6 months. That's a lot of microplastics being able to accumulate in my corpus cavernosa. I could definitely make it smaller over that kind of period. I'm gonna need to get that old measuring tape out again, baby. We're riding back in the saddle.
So do penises change over time in any other way? Do they get saggier, or do they always stay like rigid and firm?
The balls definitely sag lower. I literally can't sprint anymore unless I'm wearing compression shorts because my nutsack just attacks everything down there now.
Yeah, I'm the same way. My balls are getting lower and lower by the day.
Oh yeah, my balls are like grandma's titties right now. They are so goddamn low. It is uncomfortable. There's so few things I can do now without like compression shorts.
Well, why doesn't the dick sag more over time?
Oh, that'd be so nice, wouldn't
That's
it?
the dream.
Well, it does, but it doesn't get hard anymore. Kind of just flops there, I would assume.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, I guess.
Lazily. God, getting old sucks.
Yeah.
That's
That's certainly not fun.
I wish most of all from being younger and being a kid, just having energy. Just being able to go, yeah, I had 3 hours of sleep. Now I'm running around, just running for no reason. I can do that. Oh, it's fucking what, 2 a.m? Now I'm maybe tired, kinda. Now today it's like, oh, I got 7 hours of sleep. I'm fucking exhausted. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's just you though. Like I always have plenty of energy.
But like you're not running around your house all day.
Yeah, you're always just streaming.
Yeah, you're always sitting.
That's not true at all. I go to the gym. I work out twice a day. I play with my dogs. I run around with the dogs.
You
If
don't run
anything,
around to the gym, or you go downstairs to your gym?
I do both.
if anything,
I
he
do
would be
them
more tired
live.
if he was sitting all day. Moving around makes you more alert.
Yeah, but I'm still talking about like kids, like how they literally play all day by like running full speed outside or in the house.
I'd do that too if I wasn't such a large man. Like they're able to do that because everything's so big to them. They have a lot of wiggle room to run around. If I sprint from like one side of the room to the other, I'm gonna collide with the wall and hurt myself.
My bones just hurt.
I mean, that's just one of those things that does happen to older people, but much older than us. I guarantee you, if you did start acting like a child and ran around all day, you would have the energy. If you didn't eat like shit,
yeah.
Absolutely. If you really tried, you could definitely just walk all day, right? Without sitting down. It's 15 hours, but we sometimes see those videos of 60-year-old men doing pull-ups and push-ups and shit, doing parkour. It's because they've been active all their lives, right? So they still have that energy. Not like most people who, we live these sedentary lives and then we wonder, how come I'm so sleepy all the time? Well, kind of obvious.
Yeah, I do definitely need to do more cardio. That's part of my workouts.
I don't think it's just cardio. It's just being more active is probably the key. Getting out, playing a game of pickup basketball down the street.
When was the last time you did that?
Yeah, probably about 6 years.
Yeah. The effects, they're still lasting today, though. It was one hell of a game.
He's a spry young man.
Yep. All thanks to those pickup b-ball games, baby.
Oh, God.
The only thing I do notice is regeneration takes much, much, much longer. Sometimes I'll notice one day I'll accidentally twist my ankle or something, and then when it hurts the next day, all I can think is, that's not normal. This should have healed by itself within hours. What happened? Oh yeah, that's right, I'm not 14 anymore. So that's the problem that I have a lot of times is I'm still trying to get accustomed to your body taking longer to recover from anything.
Yeah. You're getting older when you can just wake up and go, ow, this hurts. What did I do?
Just random aches.
Yeah. Just feeling like it's like, oh God, I have to stand up now. Fuck. How do I do that?
You just reminded me, I wanted to sign up for a yoga class.
Yoga's very good for
Really?
you. You should do that.
Yeah. I'm just not flexible, and I think it might help. But the thing that's putting me off is the fact that I'm so unflexible that I'd probably have a catastrophic injury if I did sign up.
No, you wouldn't. Yoga's
You can
very
take it
gentle.
slow.
Yeah, you can go at your own pace.
Sign up for
There
the
are
old
people-
folks yoga.
Like if they're doing yoga, you can like they'll do the pose where you touch your toes, and like if you look around the class, it's ranging from people doing it perfectly to people who can like barely bend over.
True.
It's all your own
Yeah.
pace.
I think I am going to start doing that. You're welcome to join if you want, Andrew.
I would probably like to actually. Just let me know when you were thinking of going.
Sounds good.
I've
Well,
heard.
now that that's solved.
Crisis
flexi-
averted.
Yeah, how flexible are you boys?
Not a
Not
very.
at all.
I'm actually very.
I can't touch my toes or anything like that. Anything special.
I'm
How do you measure flexibility most times?
The easiest way right now, you can do it in different ways, but this is for shoulder flexibility. Put your hand behind your back and see if you can touch your shoulder blades.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
very
Easy.
So then
easily.
you guys are very flexible. I actually can't get my arm from behind my back to above my waist.
Really? What?
Shoulder weight. What?
Wow.
What? This is so easy.
Yeah, this is
Not
very
for
easy.
me. My shoulders are locked out. I can't do that, at least not
So
comfortably.
Wow.
Can you touch
really
your
force it.
toes?
No, I can't touch my toes either.
That one.
So
I
you're
can't
full. You're full unflexibility. But I've got upper flexibility, but no lower flexibility. I guess.
Well, I don't know what you mean by full unflexibility. It's not like I'm full force or anything like that. It's just a matter of I'm not flexible in most areas.
do. Well, it's okay. You're good in other things, Charlie. We believe in
Oh.
you.
Well, that's sweet.
I'm very flexible though. All the flexibility tests for the most part are very easy for me.
Soon, though, I'll be very limber. I'm positive the yoga will help.
Yeah. You should try hot yoga.
That's the one that's outside, right?
It can be, but it's in a heated room. It's where you're supposed to be like sweating like crazy while doing it.
Oh fuck that.
Yeah,
I
outside in
tried it once.
Florida.
I couldn't do it. I tried it once, and halfway through, I had to stop. It's really, really hard.
I don't see the point. It's not like sweating really
isn't
helps
it
with weight loss
uncomfortable?
or anything.
Yeah. I mean, I did it with my brother because he does yoga regularly when I was visiting him. And, I thought, yeah, it's whatever. It's not going to be that bad or big of a deal. I can do yoga, just make it hot. But halfway through, I almost fucking passed out. I had to leave the room. It's really hard. I didn't think it would be that hard. What other, on that topic, what kind of unusual activities have you guys done lately? Just like weird sports or things you signed up for or joined in on?
I can tell you none of us have done any of that right there.
Yeah, but anything remotely like that, like, I don't know. Did
Well,
you,
have you done something wacky and wild, Andrew? If you want to throw it to us.
nah.
Yeah, this is not the podcast that goes out and does wacky and wild clubs and after school
Or
sports.
anything.
Well, we need to change that. We need to go out there and do more bizarre shit.
Well, I'm going to do the yoga thing soon.
That's not bizarre. Every fucking middle-aged woman does that.
Yeah.
So, they're bizarre.
No.
Why are they bizarre for doing yoga? What's wrong
I
with
don't know, it's
yoga?
exotic.
This is not exotic.
Not anymore.
Something like capoeira. What is it? Capoeira.
Capoeira?
Jesus, yeah, that one.
Yeah, dance
Isn't
fighting.
that's cool. That's bizarre.
That is
I'd
pretty
give you
wacky.
that. What's the other one? There's like a special Brazilian fighting stance. that
Jiu-jitsu.
you- No, that's not what I was
BJJ.
thinking of.
Oh.
But there's some other. I think those like dance forms of like fitness and limbering up are really
Oh,
cool.
Zumba?
No, I think that's for old women.
I still don't see how that would be bizarre. To me, bizarre is more like I'm out hunting cryptozoology animals or something.
Ooh,
genuinely
I want to do
bizarre.
that.
Cryptozoology?
Yeah, it's like Slender
yeah,
Man,
like-
Loch Ness Monster.
Hunting for
oh.
goblins in your backyard kind of shit.
Pretty much,
fairies
yeah.
trying to get them on film. Gotcha.
And I used to be right into that kind of stuff.
Do you boys believe any of those creatures exist? Bigfoot, Loch Ness, any of those?
No.
It depends. There is certain creatures I believe in, like the cryptozoologic character that saves you a lot of money when you're shopping online, named Honey.
No one's ever
Why don't
proven
you tell
that.
them about it.
Until today.
we have scientific evidence that you, in fact,
Undeniable proof.
could save money shopping with a mysterious little being known as Honey. He's a carefree spirit who wanders the earth, and they say that they call him the one who can't be chained because he's free. Tell him about it, Jackson.
Yeah, so Honey is a spectacular little device that you can add to your browser that saves you money at every single checkout. Well, maybe not every single, but most checkouts that you go to. It basically just scans coupon codes for that particular website and applies them at checkout, so you're constantly saving money. I save money using Honey all the time. It's got thousands of 5-star ratings. It's completely free. You can save money at sites like Amazon, Macy's, J.Crew, Domino's, Sephora, Target, so you can get pizza, makeup, all that kind of good stuff for a nice discount for basically doing nothing but clicking a button one time. So yeah, there's literally no reason not to use Honey. It's free, installs on your computer in just 2 clicks. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/official. That's joinhoney.com/official. Thanks, Honey.
Thanks, Honey.
Nice.
It's as satisfying as finding Slender Man and getting his autograph.
Speaking of Slender Man, you guys remember those 2 girls that tried to murder their friend for the sake of Slender Man?
Yeah.
Did they get the death penalty?
No, I think they're free now.
No, I
really?
think they got 20 years.
No, I know one of them only had to spend like 3 days in like an insane asylum, like Arkham or something.
That it was cured?
3 days in Arkham would be a big
Yeah.
thing.
Slender Man broke her out.
Weren't they like 12?
3 days in. 3 days in, she just stops believing in Slender Man. She killed someone, but it takes 3 days to cure her. Okay.
You ever
Yeah,
think
it
that,
was something really light.
you ever think crazy people have that awakening day where they just go, "Oh fuck, this is so stupid. How am I this insane? What the fuck happened?"
Well, considering it's a mental illness most times, no.
Yeah, I
They have
doubt it.
medicine.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think doesn't medicine only just kind of like suppress the illness? Like it doesn't. Obviously, it doesn't get rid of it, but it's always still there in the background. You're just kind of nullifying the effects.
That's fair.
right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
That's true.
I've never hunted for Slender Man.
Never? You never gone out? Did you try to do that as kids?
No, I probably would have if no one told me the story of the kid that tried to make it to Bikini Bottom and drowned.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when I was growing up as a child, I used to kind of believe that those things might be out there, like Bikini Bottom and shit. But then at school, apparently there was some kid that tried to make it there himself and he drowned.
What an idiot.
You,
Yeah.
you kind of believe that Bikini Bottom was a real place, though?
Well, not
like
Bikini
it was
Bottom.
filmed on location. with SpongeBob.
Not like in particular in SpongeBob, but like other shows like cartoons and stuff. I was like, oh, that might be real.
Are you sure this kid actually did die and it wasn't just your parents trying to
Well, it was
like, make sure you weren't brain dead?
I mean, it was around school. It wasn't my parents telling me that.
They could have been spreading it to your friends at school.
Yeah. My child has to be number 1 in the class. Tell everyone that SpongeBob's real.
Oh, it's dumb.
Well, you're lucky SpongeBob didn't get banned then. Like with Pokemon in Turkey.
Why did someone kill themselves trying to catch a Pokemon or something, but it was actually a wild animal? What happened there?
I told the story before. Some kid jumped out of a window. Yeah, some
right.
kid jumped out of a window thinking he's Spider-Man, and so they banned Pokemon because cartoons were a
Yeah,
bad
you-
influence or something.
You told us
Jesus.
that. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Surely you'd test out your spider powers before launching out of a window.
They only work in life or death situations like anime.
I wonder what the kid was thinking, just free falling, like those 9/11 jumpers who just gave up and jumped out the windows. How did he feel? Trying to shoot webs out of his
Betrayed by
hands.
Spider-Man, probably.
Well, that's why it didn't
Yeah.
work. He lost hope. He gave up halfway through the fall.
Did he watch one of those Spider-Man training videos or something like that where they
that'd
try
be
to
great.
convince you that you're actually Spider-Man?
What are those? What? I haven't heard of that.
I think I saw it on one of Charlie's videos at some point.
It's a standby thing I play on stream. It's a Spider-Man training video that's supposed to be for fitness.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't fit enough, was
I'm
it?
sure there's stuff like that for every superhero or cartoon character where they use the brand mascot to try to convince the kid that they're part of the team or whatever.
Oh man, they got fucking Spider-Man chicken nuggets that are sold as a meal. Like, you need the power to fight Dr. Octopus. Eat the chicken nuggets. Like, of course, all of that shit is branded
Go
that way.
punch a oncoming bus.
Yeah. Did you just have your Danimal sprinkable yogurt? Now you can lift steel. Go try it.
Oh man, poor kids. It must suck being that dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's upsetting, I guess.
So I
They don't know any better.
So I gotta have parents monitor what you do.
Well, that's way too much work for parents. Jesus, Andrew.
Oh yeah, you're right. In this day and age, it's easier to just let them go. Here's your tablet, Billy. Leave me alone.
That's how parenting is done, baby. And then you can complain online all the time and all of a sudden have the authority as a parent. I'm right.
Yeah, you guys don't fucking understand. You're not parents. Have you ever birthed a child, Charlie? You don't know.
Honestly,
You don't know what it's like.
I wish
I
it
haven't
was
reached
just
that level
online.
of nirvana.
I wish it was just them complaining on Reddit or Mumsnet or whatever they use. Now they're suing Fortnite.
Mom's net.
Complaining.
Somehow they have all the time in the
I
world.
want to log on to the Mom's net and talk with a bunch of moms around the world.
No, but Kai's
can,
right.
it's a real
Somehow they complain
website.
about.
Is it a real thing?
Yes, Mumsnet
Wait,
is
is
Is it
actually
really
a real
called
thing?
Mom's net? That's
Yes,
so cute.
mom spelled with a U. Mumsnet is apparently it's big in the UK or something.
Oh, the Australian spelling.
Well, no, that's Diggeridoo net. No, well,
Whoa.
some parents are now suing Epic Games because they claim that Fortnite is more addictive than heroin, and it was designed to be addictive. And so now Epic Games has to pay because
Kai is just so disappointed.
no, I'm just
When
trying
you come
to.
after Kaya's Fortnite, the gloves come off.
I don't even know where to start. You're basically suing your electronic babysitter for not doing good enough of a job, even though you could just parent them, your own child.
Parenting is hard.
Doing too good of a job.
I was
or that.
talking about this last night, actually. I think we're in the current generational lull where, like, I don't know, the generation before us are just very entitled and bad parents. And then we got to step it up. Because just think how much shit you're seeing now and more about lazy parents not doing shit.
I think that's
tiring.
fair
Parents
silence.
suck
You're
if
just
there's-
doing the thing where you blame other generations. Give it
Eh,
10 years.
I
Our
think there's
generation.
always going to be people like that in every generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it 10 years.
That's
our,
fair.
Our generation's going to be probably much worse.
Yep.
That's why it's up to us to stop that. We got to fix it. Rise above.
Let's take the pledge to
There's
never
no fixing
sue
shitty parents.
the game
That's true.
developer.
Yeah.
I will,
Okay,
I'll
like
take
the
the
Losers
pledge.
Club in it.
I shall never protest a movie like I'm part of the Westboro Baptist Church or some shit. I will never sue a video game company for, after I dump my kid on their lawn and tell them they need to babysit my child and do my parenting for me. What else is there? What else do these assholes do?
I'm not going to take these pledges. I like keeping my options open. What if these game companies actually do something reprehensible? Now you can't sue them because you've pledged on this official podcast.
Yeah, so if you can't sue
he's
them,
right.
you have the option of not letting your kid play the game.
What?
I know.
You're going to go to jail for that kind of shit. That's going to be a crime in 10 years.
Bullshit.
Epic's gonna sue me now.
Yeah. Neglect by not allowing your child to play their game.
CPA gets called to your house.
We hear your son is only level 2 in the battle pass. Is there something going on at home?
They drag him away to a Fortnite house where they have to all the kids play Fortnite. It's like a halfway
They call me
house.
up like, sir, our truancy officers have told us that your student has perfect attendance at a school. Yeah. But do you not let him play video games, sir? This is not unacceptable.
It's disgusting.
principal's
I've never seen
I-
anything like
I hate
this.
to be the one to tell you this, ma'am, but I saw your son outside yesterday. Do you know anything about that?
I
He
just
was
realized
playing.
kids today have to deal with a form of bullying we never had to. So when I was young, you'd get bullied in school if you didn't, if your parents didn't have much money and you didn't have your shirt wasn't Nike, right? You had to use some off-brand shoes or whatever. Now, these days, I bet these kids get bullied because they don't have the latest Fortnite skin. Poor little fucks.
Very much true.
As far as bullying goes, I'd much prefer that.
Yeah, that's an easy solution. Just level up your battle pass. The other solution requires your parents earning more income or getting out of
No,
if the solution to being bullied is to level up your battle pass and get a skin, that's far easier than pulling your parents out of a financial ditch.
No, but I don't know what a battle pass is, but I assume at some point there are skins or items in the game you can't just grind to own.
Battle pass. Oh, well, yeah.
Right, I know, for example, League of Legends has skins that are exclusive to paid players, as far as I know. Am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so those kids are still gonna have to go through their parents. Poor little shits.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess I try to drown myself too.
Is there any way to fact check that, though? I mean, think about it. If they're just kids at your school, couldn't you tell them you had anything? Yeah, I've got that skin.
Yeah.
How would they know?
Yeah, my dad works for Microsoft. That shit always happens.
Yeah. How are they going to know?
No one ever believed it.
Yeah, they can. They'll say, okay, Timmy, show us. Log into your League of Legends mobile chat app account and show us your gallery of own skins. Come on, do it now. Oh, I knew it. You don't have the latest $20 skin. Fucking nerd.
You just reminded me that those kids have smartphones. I didn't have that in high school. So... yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. They would have been middle school. Yeah, Andrew, show us your skin. Oh, I can't. Not on my Motorola Razr. It's not able to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, but still, so back in our time, it was all physical items, right? You'd go, oh, I have this rare Yu-Gi-Oh card, and your friends would go, okay, so show it. I can't. It's in my room. It's laminated and it's in a safe. I can't just bring it to school. Okay, let's go to your place. No, my mom drinks a lot and she beats anyone who visits. And so rumor spreads that you're a liar.
Right.
Or being abused.
Right.
You get bullied for being abused, yeah.
Look at this nerd. Parents don't even love him.
His mom beats him. What a loser.
And on top of all that, he doesn't have the Fortnite skin.
She hits you for a reason.
It's normal. That does happen. Kids do get bullied for that, even if their parents beat them too.
Kids get bullied for everything, though.
Yeah.
Kids will always devour the weak. That's just how it works.
Unless they're cool.
Wasn't there some...
I mean, kids...
What makes a kid cool these days, do you think?
Yeah.
Fortnite skins.
Fuck, I have no idea.
You're probably right. No, it probably is video game status shit. I once was in a game with phase members and they said I was
absolutely good. Just playing with them is...
Well, okay, so define kids that would, to me, only be cool ages 5 to 10, and then what? Because I know for a fact that today the word Chad does not describe a gamer.
No, you know what it is? I figured out exactly what it is all the way up till high school. It's how big your social media following is. I've got 500 followers on Twitter. How many do you have? I got a video on YouTube. It's got 10,000 views.
High school.
What were you saying?
That goes throughout your entire life.
No, but that's really, really probably prevalent in middle and high school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, more so during those times.
That's the culture there.
Do you think it still matters? Probably more so now that society has become more sexually inclined. If you smash super young, is that cooler?
What the fuck did you just say?
Smash,
if you fuck someone.
Okay, I thought you meant the video game Smash.
Oh, when you're young. I thought you meant if you fuck somebody super young. I was like, what the fuck are you saying to me?
Yeah, there's multiple interpretations here.
Next week, Jackson's topic's going to be, so I just fucked a 15-year-old. Am I cool yet?
Isn't the rate of sex that young people are having going down drastically?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the opposite now.
I think they'd be more promiscuous. Does that mean it's
now cooler because less people are doing it, or is it less cool because less people are doing it?
You would think more people would be fucking today with the widespread access of porn and all that shit.
Well, it's not like
What?
porn access has gotten more widespread. It's been about the same spread for like 20 years now. Porn's always been easily accessible.
Also, porn
yeah.
discourages you fucking. Why would you go out and try to pick up women if you can just come in 5 minutes on Pornhub?
I just meant like if you're of that age, because you're saying it was getting younger and younger. If you're of that age where there's still questions about how it works, or if you want to be sexually active, porn kind of gives you the answers.
Hope not.
Yeah, of course
that would
not,
be
but-
fucking terrible. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know why young kids have more trouble getting laid now.
Well, are they even trying? Or is that why it's going down? Have people just become
probably.
less sexually inclined?
I don't know about kids, but I think most men are kind of afraid of sexual advances on women in general just because of the climate around it.
I think
I doubt that matters to high school kids.
Yeah, I doubt that
Well, I mean,
too.
in general-
They're going to get Me Too'd in the...
Well, that's
in
not
the-
true. I read a story the other day about this 19-year-old kid who's like super shy and awkward. And we went
19 years old. That's not a kid.
That
It is to me, damn it.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you boomers.
that's what
he went
gets
up to
me
some
off.
he went up to some girl on the street to try and get her attention and talk to her because they had seen each other before. They lived in the same neighborhood. So he went up and like tapped her on the shoulder or the waist, and then she freaked out, reported him to the police, and now he's facing 10 years in jail for being a weirdo because she's now having PTSD from being touched by him, even though he's just,
wait, how did he touch her? Did he just tap her or did he like full on grope her?
no, he just tapped her according to the article I was reading about it. He Googled how to make friends. Like this kid was very shy and desperate for friends.
If he's googling how to make friends, he might have groped her. I'm sorry, but
could go either way.
He
You
might
could-
just be that kind of.
If you
She
have to
didn't even-
Google how to
she
make
didn't say
friends,
that, though.
you could either be an innocent, like autistic kid who's genuinely just trying to get by in a society not designed for him, or it could be the other end of the spectrum where he's a sociopath and he literally cannot associate with human beings. It's like, how do you not rape? Ask for
know,
consent
it was really-
first. Okay, Google, what is consent? Like that could also be an option, but I think the first is probably more likely. Probably
she
just an
didn't say that he
awkward
groped
kid.
her or anything. She said that he was looking down and like went to touch her, and then she had to like dodge his touch, which almost made it touch her breast. So it's somehow his fault, but it didn't touch her breasts, and instead he touched her waist. And then
Why
she
would you touch her anyway?
to get her attention.
Just say hey.
Okay, you have to put yourself in the mind of a 19-year-old recluse who
Yeah.
lived at home.
I think it's easier to say hey than touching her. I would never directly touch someone.
Well, I wouldn't either, but I'm
said
also
touch
getting
like
their
he-
attention.
Got his fist up her asshole. It's not that evil to touch someone on the
Well,
shoulder.
Well, that's
saying-
why
I'm
she
not
was.
saying
That's why
it's-
she was so offended. He had this Vaseline lubed up fist coming at her to try to touch
I'm
her.
not saying it's. I'm not saying it's like a criminal offense or anything, or that he's a bad person. But I'm just saying I wouldn't even run the risk. You know.
No, but
Yeah, but
Jackson,
he
for
doesn't
most
know
of
that.
history, it was okay to simply touch someone on the shoulder, like, excuse me. That's not evil, and unless you're some sort of a weirdo, most people didn't
Yeah, I'm
mind.
not saying it's evil. I'm just saying I wouldn't risk it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
so
but
that's
keep
a
in mind,
point
you-
Charlie is
you-
making is, I guess, guys today, they don't want to risk it.
Exactly. So that's why no one's ever making sexual advances, because this kid's going to get 10 years in jail because the judge said there's no way he'd ever touch a woman unless it was sexually motivated. Thus, he's a fucking sex offender, so now he has to register, and looking at 10 years in possible jail.
That's fucked
It's fucking
up.
pathetic. It's sad. It's fucking sad.
What the fuck?
All because he wanted to get the attention of a girl that he wanted to be friends with. He was also at a charity event. He runs like a charity thing, and he was at his charity thing when this happened. Oh, it was so fucked, man. I felt so bad for the kid.
That's fucking awful, dude.
That is
Yep.
awful. That's a real downer. There's another reason that men aren't approaching as much either, and it was a thing I read a while ago where porn is just much more interesting and less effort. But it's a different angle on what Kai was saying, where it's like, why would I get with a woman who will just have regular sex every so often, or I could watch porn where like, look at this chick, she's drinking pee, and look at this. This is 3 chicks on one guy. I'll never have that, but with porn I can pretend I do. So
yeah.
What? But getting your penis wet is still infinitely, even at its most basic level, still way more interesting. Or like I don't know.
But it's way harder.
It feels like something more.
It's way
Yeah, but
harder to accomplish.
And it's also way more dangerous because, like this, you could get slapped
Yeah.
with 10 years in jail for nothing.
And
you
I'll-
run a big
Well, you didn't
risk.
fuck her on the street. That's kind of like the end goal is to fuck. So you've kind of got to build up to that. You know, you're not just gonna bang right there.
Well,
It's not-
he took the starting position of a tap on the shoulder, and it got him 10 years.
We don't know the context of that tap though. What if he was licking his lips while he did it? What if he was
Apparently, he was looking down. He couldn't make eye contact because he was shy.
looking
so it's-
down at that fat ass,
Oh.
going for that shoulder tap as a distraction technique?
do you think he's ever gonna try
fuck
again
no.
after he gets out of
No.
jail?
No,
He's
that
gay
guy-
now, not by
No,
choice.
That girl just
I
created an
guarantee-
incel and possibly a shooter.
Yeah. No, I don't even think it'll go that far. I honestly think that kind of situation leads someone to kill themselves 100%. It
Could
wasn't
be.
just the girl. Like, the fucking justice system just killed this kid.
Wait, so they actually did sentence him to 10 years, or
No,
is it
but
still
he
ongoing?
has to register as a sex offender. The 10 years is still up for debate.
Where is this? That's fucked.
I think it was the
There must be
UK.
more to
detail.
this than we're missing.
It was the UK. No, it did happen twice, though. The first one, I don't think he touched her. And the second one is when he made contact. But he tried to get her attention twice because he failed the first time and wanted to try
So
again.
maybe he was a stalker. Maybe he was.
Well, it's the UK. He
unintentionally
didn't have a license to touch her.
stalking.
That's a good point. He probably wasn't insured, licensed by UK's council.
Parliament didn't pass
That-
him full rights and jurisdiction acts.
There has to be more to this, otherwise
It's
every seedy dude at a bar would be in jail currently.
And they could be. Like, if they want to report it, they absolutely could be. Fucking Henry Cavill doesn't date because he's afraid of women and what they'll do to him. That's Superman.
Yeah, well,
That's
Superman.
because he's a star, not some special kid on the side of the street.
Yeah, he's
touching
not the
a
average
woman
guy,
get her
to be
attention.
fair. There's
Yeah,
plenty of people who'd be
He's a
interested in
target.
taking him down. But
absolutely.
I don't know, it's just weird with the whole media empire, all of culture coming at the young people telling them that they should be fucking, right? The whole hookup culture thing. Families are bad. Why the fuck would you want to get married? It's such an archaic thing. Oh, you want children? What are you, climate change denier? That's bad. Children ruin your life, don't you know? Why would you ever be in a long-lasting relationship? Just go on Tinder and fuck. What are you, sex? Aren't you sex positive? Go on Tinder and fuck. And all of that hype just has apparently not lived up to it because these kids are having less sex than any generation previously.
Well, they're also
You
kids.
know, I think Japan.
I'm talking
really
about 17-year-olds,
is truly ahead of
Jackson. They
all of
used
us.
to have plenty of sex, regardless of. When I say kids, I don't mean 4-year-olds. You know, I'm old, so I mean, young adults. I guess you would say, whatever. People between 17 and 20 or something, and they're just having less and less sex.
Okay, they are. I find it so hard to believe that they're having less sex.
No,
I have a
I don't
theory.
know
Actually,
why you do. I absolutely see it.
yeah.
I can absolutely see it.
It's
So you
been
know
it's
how-
been a cultural thing in Japan for many years now, where the young generation just doesn't fuck because there's other things to do and they're not interested.
That's-
Now it's starting to sweep over to where we are.
Yeah, apparently that's because of their work
People
culture
were
and they
never
work too
fucking to have
much.
kids, though.
Yeah. I mean,
So
their
my
culture
thi-
is also definitely different, but I think it's a lot of aspects are bleeding into our culture where it's just easier to do porn or it's less interesting or, you just don't want
Yeah.
to do it. You don't want to
So
get in a
my
relationship.
theory
What's the point? There's a lot of
is
apathy.
because we're so much more connected now, it's easier to raise your own bar almost. Like if there's a cute girl and she's interested in me 10 years ago, that same girl may not be interested in me today because she can just go on Tinder and find someone who's 10 times better looking than me, or on Twitter or Instagram, right? So Tinder inadvertently may have... I say that because they did these statistics of how women date men on dating sites, rate men on dating sites, and how men rate women on dating sites. And women, generally speaking, go for the top 1% of the dudes that are good looking, which is fine.
Yep.
But I honestly can see how a young kid who's 16, he still has zits on his face. He's awkward. He's not going to measure up to all the dudes this girl can now get on Tinder.
There's
So he's
also
gonna
But
be
he
having
could
less
be a
sex.
super nice guy.
There's
Yeah,
also
that too.
the numbers game. Because think about it. If you're growing up before all this, it's like, what are my options to date and talk to? There's Susan down the block. There's Jennifer
Right.
across the street, and then there's Beth that I work with, and that's it. Whereas now it's, oh, there's 1,000 girls in my area I could talk to. Okay. So it's like, why settle? Why enter relationships when, you know, you originally only had 3 options, now you have thousands. Why rush? Why bother getting in one that you know is, you know, you could always get better? What's the point?
Yeah.
So, social media, that's what it does.
Jeez.
I think that's a good thing, though. Having more options is always a good thing for people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, life in general, life quality and relationships and happiness are higher than they've ever been. But it just comes with its new set of problems.
Yeah. It's a
Getting more
cultural
connected.
thing.
Getting more connected, ironically, makes us more isolated because we already feel like we're socializing even when we're not.
Amen.
Yeah.
That being said, free my boy in the UK. He doesn't deserve to go to jail for 10 years, for God's sakes.
Or be on the sex offender list. But I still feel like we don't know all the details here.
No, Jackson, like the girl's report herself was he touched her waist and she ran away crying, panicking, called her mother, and now she can't go outside because she's traumatized.
See, in the good old days, that would have just been a story she tells her friends, like, dude, this ugly kid touched me. What the fuck? Who does he think he is? Am I right? But today she can go to the police and
That's
have
what
him
I'm
thrown in
saying.
jail.
It's so outlandish. I feel like there's a sentence or two before that you're conveniently leaving out. Like he's been stalking her for 6 years and leaving dead possums on her doorstep.
I
It's none
kind of
that.
agree
Here,
with
I'll just
Jackson.
I'll bring it up. Hold on.
I feel
I
like
am-
there's got to be another reason that all this happened.
So that's how I feel too instinctively, but I'm also done giving the media or any of this shit the benefit of the doubt at all in any situation.
I got it.
Well,
up
I'm not
again.
giving it the benefit of. I'm not giving anything the benefit of the doubt. That's why I'm asking for more information.
Okay, so she had apparently. Okay, I've got the article up. She had encountered him one
Share
time
it.
before. Oh, here, I'll drop it then. I was just going to read it for the podcast. They can't exactly read the link.
Also, read it for the podcast though once you share it.
So the first time she said it was really weird. She had met him, or they had lived near each other, and she was walking down the street. She walked towards him, and then he suddenly swung around, so he was facing her. She says, I remember it happening so fast. As soon as he moved, I moved. I said stop, and he touched me on my arm. I jolted out of the way to avoid him and walked away. And that's where she says it was really weird. Now, she saw him again on November 7th. She was far up the road when I noticed him. He is someone who lives in my area, someone I've seen before. I thought I recognized him, but didn't think it was the person from the first incident. It was only when he moved to touch me, I looked in his eyes, that I realized it was the same person. Pavement was quite wide, but he suddenly moved to walk in front of me, looked me straight in the eye, and touched my side and walked off. So, I mean, he's a shy, awkward kid. And then she says, it was quite a while, 3 to 5 seconds. He smirked, he didn't stop. He just touched me, walked off, and I broke down crying in the street. It was quite traumatic. I reported the previous incident to the police beforehand, as it had been going around that other incidents had occurred, and I thought I could give more evidence. I broke down into tears straight away and rang my mom. I attempted to follow him initially and get a picture, but I wasn't quick enough. I rang my mom. She came and picked me up. We went straight to the house, and we went straight to the police station, reported the incident. And now she talks about her lasting impact. I felt very unsafe, even in my own home. I couldn't walk to school for a couple weeks. I couldn't even leave the house myself. All because this kid Googled how to make friends and tried to act on it to make a friend.
At
least
I'm
I'll
gonna
give him
get
the
shit
benefit
for
of the
this,
doubt.
but this bitch is more awkward than the kid. If this is what happens if somebody touches her.
Yeah,
This is insane.
That's a real low threshold. You have to meet like a certain aesthetic beauty requirement to touch this woman's shoulder or waist, even if by accident, I
Broke
guess.
into tears, started running away as if being chased by the Blair Witch or something, and then called her mom, and then they went to the police and reported this guy as if he's an ISIS warrior.
He was literally working at a charity event when this happened. I mean, I don't know what you want to do. If you've never met like an awkward person, it's easy to freeze up and not say what you want to say or say anything at all. And apparently, according to her, he even walked away from her when it happened. So it's not like he was standing there stalking her. He leaves because he was embarrassed, and then she runs away crying.
So here, one of the
It
lines
just feels
says,
so fucking bad for these kind of people.
"It was more shocking that someone thought they had the right to touch me as I walked down the street." And she's right. I don't think legally anyone has the right to so much as put a single finger on you. But
Oh, I agree with that as well. Yeah.
Nobody wants to be touched on the street either.
Yeah.
when
Right,
you're minding your
but
own
there's
business,
some-
But yeah,
you have to, come on, don't be this big of a dick to somebody. This again, touching, it's not as if he did
she's literally
something
killing
bad
this
to
kid.
her. Right? So, look, you can compare it to this. If I'm walking down the street and someone's dog runs up to me and, like, licks my shoes or whatever, or it's a woman's autistic child comes up to me and, touches me, I don't sue that fucking person for 10 years in prison. I just go, oh, well, that's kind of annoying, but oh well. What can you do? It happens.
Yeah. But this is why people are having less sex. Because of shit like this, I bet. I think this guy is the perfect poster child for why celibacy is becoming so rampant.
well, you didn't even get sex. You just almost touched someone, I guess.
Yeah, and that was enough to ruin his entire goddamn life. What a shame. What a fucking shame.
Well,
Poor fucker.
Yep.
Kids these days.
well, that's what happens when two people who don't know how to communicate come together in a beautiful symphony of dysfunction.
I don't think there's anything poetic about this, Jackson. I think
Yeah, there's nothing really positive to say.
I'm just trying to spin this in some way that's, I don't know.
no, it's just fucking
I just feel
depressing.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap?
Yeah, on that note, thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of the official podcast. Don't touch people.
Yeah.
Just give up. Yeah.
General.
Just
Yeah.
maybe celibacy really is the future.
Yeah.
Voluntary
yourself away.
celibacy. Vol cells.
Yes, voluntary. Ooh, I like that has a good ring to it.
I didn't come up with it.
Oh. Never mind.
Volcel is a slur that incels use for one another. It usually goes, I'm an incel, and then the person posts a photo of themselves, and all the other incels go, dude, you're good enough looking, you're voluntarily celibate. You could get laid if you really tried. This is voluntary, so it's sort of their N-word.
I had no idea. I thought that was just kind of a cool sounding word for voluntary celibacy.
All right.
I don't disagree.
Happy 150th, everyone. We'll see you next week. Head on over to patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for bonus episodes, hours upon hours upon hours of content. So you never have to leave the house. You never have to put yourself in a situation where you might touch someone, because you'll be at home listening to the official podcast bonus content over at patreon.com/theofficialpodcast. Thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for watching and all that good stuff. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.